It's my EDL Module 16 case study of missing booster club funds. We know that money went missing from a gate bag at a game, or at least we think it did. We want to know where the discrepancy is, who or what is at fault, and we don't know what that is at this time. For the problem identification, I thought the biggest problems were that the crowd was a very large crowd. The administrator couldn't be everywhere at once, and so he was not able to oversee all aspects of the entire evening. We also know that Mrs. Bowman, who had visited with the principal, Mr. Stevens, and was denied a request for money, we know that she was the one that handed him the bag at the end of the night, but of course we don't know if she had anything to do with the missing money. We know that $50 was, we think that $50 was missing from the till, but again, that is presented as something that we're not quite sure of at this time. We do know that there is a discrepancy between the amount of tickets sold and the money that's in the bag. Mrs. Bowman's note stated that there were 78 to 88 numbered tickets that were missing, so there was 10 that were torn and thrown away. We haven't been able to verify that with any other sources. So a lot of issues that we need to look at here. We need to know a few things before we can start diving into this. Can anyone else identify what's being said here? Were the tickets torn? Did Mr. Dumas pay with a $50 bill? We need to know that if anyone else had access to the gate bag and if anyone else can verify the tickets were torn. My proposed plan of action is fairly simple. I would want to talk to all the volunteers calmly. I would want to make sure that I question all of the night's events. I'd want to find out that if in fact the tickets were torn, if anybody else saw that happen. And I would definitely not want to place blame on anybody, and I wouldn't want to come at anybody that they were guilty, that they are the reason that this happened. I would want to stay calm and go for facts. Resolving the issue and promoting the student success. After questioning all the volunteers, I would like to make sure that the facts align with what I'm doing in my follow-up. I would want to determine if the missing money was something that happened because of oversight on my part, and if it happened because I didn't have a proper procedure in place. I'd also want to make sure that if it was a mistake, that I built some sort of procedure for the future to eliminate that from happening, or at least reduce the chances of money going missing in the future. And I would also want to make sure that if tickets are torn in the future, that those are left in the bag for verification. Reflection. What was I thinking, feeling, and valuing during this? It was really easy to get caught up in the fact that Mrs. Bowman was denied money, and she could have easily taken the money either out of necessity or out of just anger for being denied money. That did cross my brain. I also thought that it was nice that she continued to volunteer, even though I had denied her money as the administrator. I also would like to know a little bit more, and I thought, why was Mr. Dumas so insistent on talking so much about this $50 bill? We're not even certain that he paid with a $50 bill. Did anyone else verify that? I don't know. I want to make sure that as the administrator, I would be more visible at the gate and anywhere there's money being held, like the concession stand, at a booster club table, at a fundraising table. I want to make sure that as the administrator, I could be more visible. And in my proposed plan of action, I have ways to identify to do that. There are some unresolved issues. Were the tickets actually torn? Is there actually missing money? Do I have a proper plan in place? And what can I do to prevent the loss of school funds? In ensuring effective and efficient management as the administrator, I need to understand that my procedure is in place, and I understand that in questioning every volunteer that I take care of not placing blame, and I take care of that calmly. Problems are unavoidable in a school, and these things do happen by accident and sometimes by negligence. But I want to make sure that a plan is in place to ensure in the future that we are minimizing that risk. That is all for my presentation. Thank you very much.